Howdy y'all.
Hi guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From Carhartt. No, we're from
RNA Music.
RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop guitar shop music lesson studio where we teach people to play music. Deep in the heart. You said it was after when I was in Texas.
I just wanted to try it.
Messing with me. Which one is it?
I think it's after. It doesn't
No,
matter.
because I always say deep and there's a pause in the heart of Texas. Texas. I don't know. We're in Texas.
Yes.
Small town
Either
East
way,
Texas.
clap or
Whatever it
no
is.
clap,
I mean,
we're
we've
in
only
Texas.
done like 370,000 of these
but
videos.
this was so many. I don't know.
We're here to answer questions. Let's get to it. All right, welcome back. Yeah, that's right. We're going to answer some questions. We have a little music lesson studio and music store in a small town, very small town in East Texas, and we make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I forget which episode this is. It's a lot.
Moving on.
A lot of episodes of Angela and I answering questions. Many years of this. And we're going to continue right now with answering some questions. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I think you'll probably enjoy it. At least a little bit. I've seen other stuff on the internet. I think we're way more entertaining than some things. Probably less than other things, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, subscribe and get ready to ask a question, and we might answer it next week. Anyways, let's get on. First question, Ronan67 asks, okay, here's a question for everyone. Maybe Fat Philosopher has the answer. When and why did all the 80s hard rock / metal get dumped into the glam rock title / genre? I never heard that term when any of it was being played on the radio. Oh, very good question, Ronan67. I had to go do some Googling on that. And actually, I think you might have that mixed up a little bit because hard rock and metal didn't really get dumped into glam rock. Glam rock refers to like David Bowie and Blondie and like stuff. So glam rock is like 60s and 70s stuff. Yeah. Now there is people who toss around the term glam metal. It's kind of synonymously with hair metal.
Yeah, I always think hair bands, like, you know, like Bon Jovi and you know, stuff like that.
Warrant,
yes. Yes.
Motley Crue, you know, Poison.
Yeah.
Poison.
Guys with the makeup and the hair and just like they had the, you know, look to them. I don't, you know, hard rock, I don't put them in the same category, but people throw people in categories all the time because they never listen to them, so they just kind of chunk people over there in that category, not really thinking about it.
And that term glam metal or hair metal kind of popped up in the early 90s to refer to that stuff that was happening in the mid to late 80s. Right. So I don't know if it was meant as a derogatory term or just a descriptive term or whatever, but a lot of those bands had, you know, they kind of had the same look with the
makeup,
the mega hair and the makeup.
Lots of Aquanet during that time.
Yeah, whereas
teasing.
Yeah, and I think it was the eyeliner and the makeup really that kind of did it, because you had bands like Metallica at the same time. The metal bands, like those guys had a lot of hair. Yeah, but they weren't wearing makeup.
Like Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah, but they weren't like spinning forever working on it. They looked like they were doing good if they even brushed it.
Right. So. Yeah.
But I think it was interesting because I didn't really think about it going back and looking. Well, glam rock actually means something completely different than your like Ratt, Warrant, Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, you know, that stuff. So who was the first to coin that term? I don't know. I'd have to go back and really dig through the magazines and the MTV at the day,
right?
I guess,
but no
you know, I don't know. So I kind of see there's a difference between hard rock and metal. You know, I don't for me, like hard rock and metal was like, you know, Metallica and Megadeth and Anthrax, and you had those. Yeah,
Pantera.
And they had those bands. Well, Pantera was early '90s, but they were glam back in the '80s. So before Pantera turned into heavy metal behemoths, they were also wearing the spandex and the teased hair and playing glam stuff, because that's just what you did when they were 16, 17, 18-year-olds, until they figured out what they really wanted to do, I guess.
Right.
Anyways, great question, Ronan. Anybody else has some comments and or
insight?
insight into that, please share that down below. I mean, I was a kid. I was born in 75, so
yeah,
you know, junior high era when like I remember watching Bon Jovi on MTV when it was like the top 10. I'm like, Bon Jovi and Poison and more, like, huh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Megadeth and Metallica existed at that point. I thought, oh, that's interesting. You know, Def Leppard was kind of that's it. Anyways, we could go on for a while about that.
Right.
Thank you for the question, Ronan. Anybody else care to fill in some factual data on that? Because I was Googling and I'm like, oh man, there's a lot to sift through to get, and who knows if what's right. But thank you for the question, Ronan. Next question, Grungy Goth, aka Just Fun Guitar. I'm never gonna get Just Fun Guitar out of my head.
I know.
Grungy Goth. So, new question: is there much construction going on around your county? In our actual county of Van Zant County, Canton, Texas, not a whole lot.
Not really. There should be.
Not real construction.
No. I mean, there's some businesses and buildings getting put up every so often. We have a lot of metal buildings. I don't know if that translates over.
Heavy metal.
Yeah, so we have these prefab. A lot of businesses are going over not brick and mortar to like just prefab
steel frames instead of wood frame
buildings. So they go up really fast. So there's not a lot of construction per se. Like you would think, like beams and like studs and you know, sheetrock and brick and mortar. But yeah, not in our county necessarily. But if you start going outside the county, you see a lot of construction, houses being built, subdivisions, and stuff like that we've noticed, or I've noticed.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely a boom in construction, kind of nationwide. Well, I'm assuming I know in Texas, it's a massive. I mean,
right, because lots of people are moving here.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses being built, a lot of buildings and businesses being built. So there's quite a bit of that going on. There's always road construction if you go to Houston or Dallas, any of the big cities. There's a ton of massive Texas-sized highways being worked on and stuff. But,
road construction, yes.
Yeah, that's year-round all the time.
Happening, but like buildings, like businesses, because of supply and demand of lumber and certain things like that, a lot of things have been put on pause because of the import-export.
Yeah, supplies.
Of gas and oil to be able to cut the trees down, to be able to mill them, to be able all that stuff. So, you know, things have somewhat been paused, but for the most part,
yeah, there's a fair bit going on. Thank you for the question. How about where you're at in the Englandshire? Is there a lot of construction going on?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so because they don't have a lot of space.
Yeah,
as we do.
Yeah, we have. Everybody talks about like overpopulation. I was like, bro, that's a lie. Overpopulation's a lie. Because there are places now in your country, it might be quite popular.
Or in your area,
in your bubble, there is.
There might be.
But there are places here in
not
Texas,
in yours specifically, Chris.
In Texas and in the United States, where it's like you could go for miles and miles and miles and hundreds of miles and not see anybody.
Right.
There's plenty of land.
Right.
There's no shortage of land, y'all.
No. There's not.
Maybe the land you want to be at.
or trees.
Yeah.
Or trees. I had a timer go off.
A reminder. You put it on silent.
Timers don't respect the
Timers
silent.
don't give a crap about your silence.
They're like, you're cute.
Silence. I wake you.
Yeah, there's plenty of land.
Yeah, you guys let us know
especially in Texas.
Where you live and where you're at. What is the construction like? Now, in Japan, there's a shortage of land. There's not a lot of space in Japan, but I'm talking worldwide. There's a lot of land. Next question. Terry Starks. # game on. Y'all are super legends for putting out these great videos for us. Okay, y'all answered questions about metal bands. So how about Angela and Ryan? Who's your favorite acoustic players? And why? Do y'all like instrumentals or vocalists playing acoustics? # KTMA. Oh, great question. Favorite acoustic player, Angela Saucerus. Go.
Ryan.
Oh, man. That's very nice. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I always love it when you play.
Acoustic.
Yeah.
Not the electric.
No, I mean, but they're asking about acoustic.
Right.
They didn't say guitar player.
Right.
That would expand out.
Oh yeah. You like my acoustic stylings?
I like his stylings.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, outside of that, I don't.
Outside of your ultimate favorite.
I really don't have like a favorite. I never really thought about it. I like some Spanish guitar guys. What's his name? Who does
Paco de Lucia.
Yes.
We have a CD.
Leyenda, whatever.
No, that's
who plays that?
Well, there's a lot of people who've done copies of it.
But that was that really old guy.
Oh yeah, that is I was about to say George Lucas, but it's not. It's John Williams. John Williams, not the composer for Star Wars. There's a John Williams who's a classical guitarist guy.
Yes, I would say that.
Different John Williams.
Because whenever we teach a little like watered down version of that, I play that for them and say, see, this is an actual song. You're learning an actual song. And it's very beautiful. The whole thing is very beautiful. You should listen to it sometime.
And it's legendary.
And it's very legendary. So I would say the first thing that pops up in my mind is him.
Not Garth Brooks.
No. That's more like Junga, Junga, Junga. That's not like
anybody play guitar like Garth
beautiful, Brooks. Like sliding it down and
Yeah.
Of course, I love the guitar part in like More Than Words.
Oh yeah. Nuno Bettencourt, my favorite acoustic player.
Yeah, but
Nuno Bettencourt, yeah.
But I like that.
That's great.
When I think, anyways. There you go. That's my answer. What's yours?
I was gonna say like Paco de Lucia because I actually have a CD. I've bought some of his music. It's all Spanish guitar, no vocals, just like ripping Spanish guitar stuff. He's one of these guys who's up there like a legendary, phenomenal acoustic player in that genre. We've got the Rodrigo and Gabriela CD where they play like sort of Spanish guitar versions
Does
of like.
Does Antonio Banderas count?
No, he wasn't him.
Whoever was playing the guitar and Desperado.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Whoever played that. Yeah. Rodrigo and Gabriela.
It's probably Rodrigo.
It's probably them. So that's kind of instrumental stuff. Mike Dawes is great, who does the crazy slappity, like that's funky stuff. Mike Dawes is awesome. I'm trying to think of anybody who's like a strictly acoustic person that I like their songs. I mean, you've got like crap, what's his name? Why did it leave? It always leaves my brain.
I know.
Fire and Rain. James Taylor. So James Taylor is kind of, but I don't like only James Taylor songs.
No, I can listen to James Taylor only a little bit. I have to be really in the mood for the sound of his voice. There's just something that's just the underlining tone of his voice I don't really care for, but his music and the playing is beautiful.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, a little bit.
What's for lunch? I like some Dave Matthews stuff, and I have actually owned some Dave Matthews CDs.
But again, it's not
stuff.
Like,
oh my god, that's so awesome. Half of it's Carter Beauford and his band.
Right, yeah.
It's more like, it's kind of more about the band than it is strictly about Dave Matthews himself.
Doesn't he have like an accordion player?
Oh, I mean, it might now. Yeah. Bella Fleck plays them a bunch, but probably the first ones we talked about, Spanish guitar players, because that's friggin' amazing stuff right there. And the classical guitar stuff, like John Williams, is freaking fantastic. All right, thank you for the question, Terry Starks. You guys, tell us below, who are your favorite acoustic players and why?
Yeah.
Next question. Fat Philosopher, here to answer all our 80s questions. His next one, Ryan, rank by difficulty to play the following early 80s glam metal bands: Dokken, Motley, Crue, Ratt, and Van Halen. Right. So I think Ronan 67 was probably talking glam metal, but used the term glam rock. But it didn't occur to me that those are actually kind of two different things, because glam rock, David Bowie, and all that stuff, that was definitely before my time.
Yeah. Definitely
before my time. But so was Led Zeppelin, but I love Led Zeppelin. Some people consider them glam rock. And I'm like,
no.
I don't know.
I would call them folk metal.
Folk rock.
Because they had like the legendary like sound, like, or like,
I like some
you
Jimmy
took
Page.
A journey, and all their songs, like their songs were like journeys. It wasn't just, in a lot of folk music, it is a journey. They're telling a story. And I would think of them as metal or rock. Yeah. And so it's like
they're folk rockers.
I would couple them together.
I like me some Jimmy Page acoustic guitar. I'll tell you that right there. I liked a lot of his stuff because there was a lot of folk yell. Anyways.
Yes. We'll go
Fat Philosopher. All right. Rank by difficulty to play the following early 80s glam metal bands: Dokken, Motley, Crue, Ratt, Van Halen. Okay, I think it's fairly easily Van Halen is in the first place. I put Van Halen in place number 1, obviously. the king of rock guitar, Eddie Van Halen. Not impossible to play because there was a period of time where everybody and their mom, well, maybe everybody and their dad played Van Halen. Like I have buddies that I'm like, they can play all the Van Halen songs and just rip it. They can't hardly play anything else, but they can play the Van Halen songs. So it's possible to learn. Now to play it exactly like he did it, very, very difficult. The exact nuance and feel and rhythm and stuff. But I'm gonna put Van Halen at number 1. I'm gonna put Dokken at number 2 because George Lynch is really pretty good. I don't really like Dokken.
I have no idea who that is.
I've seen George Lynch play at the Dallas
I'm sorry
Guitar
if that
Festival.
offended anybody. I actually felt people go, what?
Dokken.
Don't know.
Rockin' with
Y'all
Dokken.
should know by now. I wasn't raised in any of these genres. The only way I know it is through him in the last 22 years.
But you knew who Led Zeppelin was before me.
Yes, but that's different. I knew who Black Sabbath was because my mom listened to
Your mom didn't listen to Dokken.
No.
That makes me really tickled to imagine Vanessa listening to Dokken. Yeah. I'm gonna put Dokken in second place because of George Lynch. He's pretty good. I'm gonna put Motley Crue in third and Ratt in fourth. Motley Crue, some great songs, and I like. See, I can't think. My brain's.
Who Motley Crue?
No, I know who Motley Crue is. Their guitar player. What's his name? Mick Mars. Dang it, there it is. It's like a candy bar. Mick Mars. He's got the spondylosis where he has to like.
Oh yeah.
He's like.
Yeah, I know. I knew that.
All seized up, but he's up on stage like.
You know why I knew that?
Ripping it up.
Because of him. We've had that conversation, and it's in my bank.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we know somebody. There's actually a person because we knew somebody who.
Yeah, we know somebody who has. But Mick Mars is freaking awesome. Single-handedly, the best musician in that band, I would say, is Mick Mars, and probably highly underrated. But I don't think as difficult to play as, say, Van Halen stuff. And then Ratt, fourth place. I couldn't name a Ratt song. I don't think. Well, probably one. Any of their couple of hits that were on MTV, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. That's my order of difficulty. You guys share below your order of difficulty. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna put Van Halen in first place. I'm reasonably certain of that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Thank you for the question, Fat Foster. That kind of feeds into the next question, though. I try to actually group these together.
That's awesome.
Brian Strasser says, do you think Van Halen should experiment a lineup change or call it a day? Heard a heated debate on this topic the other day. I never got past Blitz football. # game on. Talking about video games. Yeah, they're done. I mean, there's been a lot of chatter. Now I follow Wolfgang Van Halen and I watch him and like he's like I'm highly entertained by the way
his personality.
Yeah. And the way he just doesn't give an F about what people tell him to do because his dad, you should blow. I'm like, man, leave that guy alone, man.
Peace.
Who's this boy? I'm like, this boy's 30 years old. He's a grown A man.
He's a man. He's a man,
you know? And everybody's like, you should do more Van Halen at your things and give tribute to. And it's like,
I'll do what I want.
He's like, I'm doing exactly what my dad wants me to do. My dad wants me to do my music.
Right.
And like, who would know? Good God, who would know better than Wolfgang Van Halen? But everybody's like, hey, you should do some Van Halen and Wolf. And he's like, no.
It's like that boy has both legacies, like television and music, both like major industries in his blood. It's like you're not going to tell him anything other than what he knows.
Yeah, but no, they're done. I was like, you cannot continue Van Halen without Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, you can't replace him. That doesn't make any sense.
That's like, hey, why don't we just
sacrilege?
And it's like, hey, why don't we just continue Pantera? I mean, half of Pantera is still alive. Let's just have some Pantera. Like, you can't have freaking Pantera without Dimebag Darrell or Vinnie Paul. Really. It's like, it's just not going to happen. I was like, I think it's just silly to even think about it. Now, tribute shows where,
like
maybe
they want to honor him, sure, I guess.
Yeah, that maybe Sammy Hagar could still sing. David Lee Roth is just, he's retired. He's like, you know what, I'm done. I'm retired, y'all.
I got money, I'm good.
Yeah, well, he's also not a young fellow anymore.
None of them are.
Yeah, but Sammy Hagar can still sing, even though he's an older guy. I've heard him.
They're
they're done, and I think that's okay. Kind of like Led Zeppelin was like, hey, when John Bonham was gone, they're like, hey, this is it. We can't continue. He was such a force of nature in that band. They were like, no, we can't do this. I mean, yeah, they came back like 30 years later and did a couple of one-off shows with John Bonham's son playing drums, for a couple of things. But, yeah, but I think it's done. There's no lineup change with Van Halen. And yeah. And I just think that's what I think about it. That's how it is. You can't come back. There's no way you could do it and anybody be satisfied. Even if Wolfgang was playing all of the parts, so like, you didn't play it just like Ed. You should have played it just like him. How can you not? And it's like, because he's not Ed. He's his son, and he has his own thing. Yeah, I think they should call it a day. And there's an epic legacy of music. It's not like they only put out one record and that was it. There's a ton in decades of Van Halen music for us to all still enjoy. And there you go. That's what I think about that. All right, now it's time for comment of the day. This is the part of the day where Angela and I create music on the epic level of Van Halen on the spot. I said what I said. Yeah, it's not exactly true, but we are gonna create some music on the spot right now, right now, for you guys with our comment of the day. We're gonna do a comment of the day. I've got a little, it's not little, but I got an acoustic guitar. I'll try to not overplay. Yeah. And I'll try to be delicate.
Okay. Here you go.
With my.
I picked it just fine, just like that.
Dang, what am I gonna play though?
I don't know.
Oh. I have an idea.
Okay.
All right. So comment of the day. I'm going to play something, and then Angela's going to sing something, and we're going to make a song on the spot. You ready?
Oh my gosh.
Walking Dead 1369. Skittles, really? I could look at that bag for a year and never open it. And I respond with, I can't not open it.
Yeah.
I have to, against my own better judgment, I'm like, a bag of Skittles.
Yes. Taste the rainbow.
Taste it.
Got to.
Thank you for that comment. Whereas, past Halloween, I think we've burned through most of our Halloween candy by now, except for the
Starburst.
Whole thing of Starburst. Starbursts are okay, but I'm like,
that's a lot of work for Starburst.
I dug through all of the Starburst to get to the mini packages of Skittles.
Yes. And the little mini Snickers.
Yeah, the mini Snickers.
They were like bite-sized Snickers. Not the fun-sized Snickers, but the bite-sized.
Yeah, the angry-sized Snickers. It's an angry Snicker.
Yes.
Because it's so tiny.
It's so tiny.
Thank you for the comment of the day, Walking Dead, Captain Legend of all time. All right, next question. Dumac, howdy y'all. Ryan, what are your thoughts on amp and cab sims? In my current living situation, I can make a lot of noise, or I can't make a lot of noise. Oh, I can make a lot of noise, and I don't really have a lot of space for amps, not even combos. Do you have any favorites? #game on. Kind of feeds into the next question. So I'm going to stack these together with Robert Andrade.
Which is the final question.
Final question. So these final two questions, I'm going to lump them together. He says, hey there, #game on. I primarily play through a Helix rack, power amp with cabs, but also enjoy rocking a couple of tube amps I have with a few pedals. I recently begun using computer amp sims, and I really enjoy the Neural DSP SLO 100. Do you use any sims? If so, do you have a favorite? All right, so Dumac and Robert Andrade. Got basically the same questions. So, and thoughts on it, and then do I use any? Well, I don't really use any. So I haven't experimented too much with that stuff, mostly because my computer is pretty old.
Yeah.
So my MacBook we have 2 MacBooks, and they're both 2012s.
They're ancients.
So I have to say, for a 2012 laptop to still be functioning in 2021 is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Never, ever, ever, ever have had a PC laptop last more than like 2 years.
A year and a half.
Or even 2 years is the max.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, oh man, it crapped out in like 6 months. It's a piece of crap. So I'm like super like, good God, these Macs.
Happy with them, but...
Yeah, but there does come a limit. Like now I can't even upgrade the operating system on it. And so there's a lot of stuff I can't get newer things. I'm like, all right. Mm-hmm. They are kind of pricey. Mm-hmm. But if they last a freaking decade, that's pretty crazy. So I do have a 2 notes like Capture X, for recording. Like I can take my Mesa Boogie full tube head and plug it into that, and it's got cabinet simulation on it, so I can record the Mesa Boogie real amp into that with silent record. And I have messed around with that, so I do have the 2 notes capture stuff, and it seems to work pretty fine for actually brainstorming and writing stuff, because you guys know that me and the B positive bass man, Mr. B positive bass man, have been releasing some music. We have another single about to come out, and if I don't talk about it, he's gonna be mad, and he's gonna be like, oh man,
not so positive,
he'll be sad. So here I am pimping the Awkward Pause second single.
Sweet Lord help me. Take 700. Take 701.
Should check out. But a lot of the music that we write, we record direct into GarageBand, honestly. Mm-hmm. Or I'll use whatever I'm using right now.
The thing.
Logic. Mm-hmm. So GarageBand and Logic are essentially the same program. I mean, GarageBand is just a stripped down Logic, but you can open your GarageBand projects in Logic. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they have built-in guitar and amp sims built into them. I have used a lot of just the built-in stuff in Logic and GarageBand just for capturing the idea and getting it down. And there's been a couple of their sounds that actually ended up like on the last song we did, and on one of the upcoming ones. It's probably going to get like, there's a certain effect. It's like, I don't know how to replicate that in the real world with hardware, so we're just going to use it. And there are a ton of like a lot of the Conquering Dystopia record was all done with like Axe effects and digital modeling stuff. So the digital modeling stuff has come a long ways,
right?
And you absolutely can make great music with it. I usually just do it for like scratch purposes of getting the idea down, and then for myself, I'm just gonna say for myself, then I go back and I get an SM57 or a microphone of some kind, and I mic up the actual Mesa Boogie cabinet or the Devil Cat cabinet and do all that. So when I'm ready for my final take,
right,
I actually do tend to go into using amps for recording purposes. Now for practicing, it's just fine. But so I don't have a lot of experience in downloading a bunch of other people's stuff, because honestly, my computers are just not powerful enough really for it. If I'm doing stuff that takes too much processing, my Mac is just like, oh, we ain't got enough memory. It's like
what?
That's exactly how my MacBook is. It's like, hey, could not process too much data.
Yeah.
Because if there's too much rendering happening, it gets bogged down. Now, if it's a wave file, which is just like an audio file, it's like, oh yeah, cool, we can handle that. Mm-hmm. As soon as you get too many layers of processing happening once, it's like, hey, bro, you should have replaced it. Simmer down now. So I don't have a problem with anybody using that stuff, and because some albums that I really like a lot of, they have used that. You can make music with it just fine, but I haven't used it to record any music with, and I tend to just use a real amp if I can. Now for the Be Positive Bassman projects I'm doing with, we are recording DI tracks and sending it to his nephew, who's like a professional music production live sound guy. And so I'm sending him DI tracks, and then he's doing reamping probably through some stuff. But but that's where I'm at with it. You guys tell me down below, do you prefer live real in the real world amps, or do you prefer amps in the matrix that are full on digital? Let me know. One day when we upgrade and get fancy computers, I'll probably dip my toes into that stuff. But,
maybe someday.
Maybe someday. But not today. And that was the final two questions. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Robert Andrade. And that brings us to the end of the video and our fun little game we like to play called Secret Hashtag of the Day. Secret Hashtag of the Day. If you watch this entire video from beginning to this point, hopefully it's not going to be crazy long. Secret hashtag. Type it down below with your comment and your question for next week, and we'll know you watched this entire video from beginning to end. And Angela already has an amazing idea, and I'm curious to see what it is. And it is secret hashtag today is hashtag
Glam Rock.
Glam Rock. Okay, very good. Not Shamrock.
No.
Not Scam Rock. Hashtag Glam Rock. Great one.
Good Glam Rock.
Giggity Glam Rock.
Gross.
Hashtag Glam Rock, and we'll know you watched this entire video. Thank you guys so much. If you have a question for next week, please leave it below. And if you have a comment, there's the thing. It can't be like a whole paragraph. Like, we're not going to write a song the whole paragraph. So they got to be reasonably short comments, like, which is why Walking Dead.
No chorus, verse, bridge.
Yeah, that's why Walking Dead gets featured fairly often, because as he's watching the video, he'll spit out a little comment about whatever the question is, and then
and cracks.
Then the next segment, he's like, "Oh man, blah 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 blah." Yeah. So and have multiple to choose from. So, but that would actually tickle me. Skittles, yes, Skittles.
Yeah,
I want some Skittles right now. Freaking Walking Dead.
Purple bag.
Messing with my
bag.
Red bag. Red bag Skittles. Purple. And that's it. You guys ask a question for next week, and think about comment of the day song. Tell us how you enjoyed. Did you enjoy today's comment of the day song? And that was zero pre-planned.
Yes.
Every now and then, about 30 minutes before we do this, I'm like, maybe I should play something like this.
Yeah.
Actually, not very often, but once or twice that has happened.
9 times out of 10, I have no idea what he's gonna
play. Most 7 times out of 10, I have no idea what I'm going to play either until it's time. So
yeah, and that one out of the 10, the 9, it's usually he's sitting here going, I think I want to do this. I'm like, okay, literally before the camera starts. That's it. That's all the prep.
And then sometimes it's like, that didn't work.
Yeah.
What I thought I was going to do didn't work. And I'm like, let's just do something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had fun doing that.
I know.
Yeah, you can help me write melodies and lyrics for my song.
Yeah.
Because we do this every week.
Yes, we do. You just got to get me some words.
More words? Yeah. More than words is
more
what you need.
More than words, yes.
I'll give you some feelings, too. I'll give you words and feelings, Angela.
I like all those.
You like your words. What's for lunch?
I don't know.
Ka-ching.
Yeah, salads.
Cha-king. Salads. Yeah. Salads and Skittles.
Yes.
That's what we're having.
I mean, if you think about it, with all the fruits that are in Skittles, it's basically a salad.
It's a candy salad.